Now we're live.
Now, okay.
Okay, live and alive. So those are two different things, and I'm happy to be alive. Actually, I had it pretty good last night because I had my little camper to sleep in. But we're here at what is it, Mission Biddle Park in Carlisle, and interviewing some people who really know a lot about homelessness. And I'm happy to be here with Patrice Pickering, and she's with the Homeless Assistance Program, which, if you say that fast a few times, you'll skip
Yeah.
over it. No, I won't. So, Patrice, good morning, and
Good
thanks
morning.
for joining us. And why don't why don't you give your little introduction here, and just sort of who you are and why we would have wanted to have you here, because there's good reasons for that.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me this morning. You all have been doing great work. I've been watching it throughout the broadcast. It's wonderful information. I am the case management supervisor for the Office of Aging and Community Services. On the community services side, we offer different types of human service programs, and one of the three that I oversee is the Homeless Assistance Program. And I've been doing this for 20 years in Carlisle.
20 years. So
Mhm.
that's quite a long time. I've been coming to Carlisle for over 10 years now, and have been aware of homelessness and have interviewed homeless people here in town, and made a couple of videos and all. And let me just say, by way of introduction, I'm the head of the one person, so I'm the head and the bottom and everything, and the one in the middle of Hear Us Incorporated. It's a national organization. I give voice and visibility to mainly families and youth experiencing homelessness. And but I'm happy to be here because I'm a friend of Pat LaMarche, and a friend of many people in Carlisle. And so this sleep out is just a great opportunity to learn more about the first of all, that Carlisle has a significant homeless problem, and
Mhm.
it's not it's not what people think. Those who don't really know, they see some of the folks on the street, and they're like, oh yeah, there's all those homeless people, but they only see a handful. And what I guess, just to kind of maybe start out, like, can you give a sense of what the homelessness issue is here in Carlisle?
Well, I would take it even larger in Cumberland County
Okay, that's
because
great.
you do not see as much homelessness as is condensed in Carlisle because it's the county seat. Um, the population has been growing in the last few years, mainly with families and now with individuals. But one of the things that I have been keeping an eye on for the last few years is our aging population.
Mm.
And just in the last year and a half, we are getting a lot of seniors that are becoming homeless and have nowhere to go. People have been asking me why, what's going on with the seniors? Well, first of all, if you look at the demographics, you have a lot of baby boomers and older that are changing their lifestyles, either divorces or deaths, health issues, um, financial problems that are going on. Let's just take somebody who might have been married and a spouse died. They were the main wage earner, and suddenly they don't have that income anymore, and they can't keep their mortgage or their rent up. So they suddenly end up in a very precarious situation that they need assistance. And most people don't know where to go for assistance. And a lot of people have pride issues that they don't want to ask for assistance. But it's here, it's out there. I really want to get the word out that rental assistance is available, hopefully, if you qualify.
Yeah, and I guess first of all, I mean, there's a lot of people who need the help, and I'm going to guess, just based on the years that I've been doing this kind of work, that whatever help is available, even for those who are eligible, there's not enough. So that's
Yeah.
but maybe just because this interview will get around, and hopefully people will, you know, watch it and get some good information. So I want to
Mhm.
drill down to the, the facts of who would be eligible, in at least in theory, for the assistance through the homeless assistance program.
Okay, the homeless assistance program's financial side is rental assistance, and that's for people that are homeless on the street in a place not meant for human habitation, in a car, um, out in the parks. Uh, they would be considered homeless. Those also who are near homelessness, those that are going through evictions, have notices to quit, are going through the court systems, might also benefit from homeless assistance. The rental assistance part, we can go up to about $1,500 for a family. If it's an individual or an adult household, we have about $1,000 to work with. But I have to say that money is not the only thing that we offer. We offer case management. So if you become a client of ours, we will walk next to you for the next year or two to make sure that you're staying on your budget and that you are working on the goals, not just for yourself, but for the children, the household, whoever is in your home. We do budgeting and help people really take a look at how much income is coming in, what kind of bills they have, and what they can actually afford in housing. So those are some of the
That
things that we offer.
yeah, that kind of help, while it sounds like, if you're in your own home and you're not having these concerns, it sounds like, yeah. But, really, for those who are struggling to keep a roof over their head, stress tends to overtake them and sometimes impacts their judgment in ways that, it's understandable, but, you don't have a lot of leeway when you're in a financially stressed situation, just finances. We're not
Mhm.
talking all the other things that go with that, but that that really affects your judgment in ways that that are frightening. And there's predators out there, and there's too good to be true offers out there. So you
Mhm.
you probably are helping people avoid a lot of those pitfalls that would create homelessness faster than necessary, if
We, we,
homelessness
all,
is necessary.
we also work a lot with communication. Certainly, we don't want our tenants to be hiding from their landlords. We want them to communicate what's going on, especially during COVID time right now. It's very important to let your landlord know what's going on and what kind of issues you might run into. Um, we will work on advocating for our clients, whether it's through the legal system or through landlord tenant, or also to get into a place. We will work with other agencies. A lot of this, none of us can do this on our own. We have to collaborate. We have to blend our financing with other agencies, and we have to make sure that people have the services that are wrapping their arms around those who need to become sustainable and to become to go forward with their housing needs.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, facing homelessness, COVID is like the homelessness creation
Mhm.
epidemic, and it frightens me as I read and hear about what people are facing as far as evictions and foreclosures. And am I right in saying that we're not ready for this?
Oh, we're not ready, and we've been trying to talk about it. I know Beth Kempf and myself and Scott Schul, a lot of others have been talking trying to figure out how we're going to work with what you're calling the tsunami of homelessness. To apply for grants took a while because the grantors had to really take a look at what kind of funding was coming in, whether it was federal, state, or local. The funds are starting to come in now, but each funding source has their own barriers for people to access them. I can tell you that besides getting our new state allotment for rental assistance, because our budget year starts July 1st, we also just got HAP supplemental CARES money for rental assistance of $165,000 that needs to be spent by November. And this is specifically for those who have been affected by COVID. We also got permission from the state to blend that money with our own HAP money. So we have two basically streams of money that we can pull down from. Now, we're not the only ones. There are other agencies that have money. I was told that we should use our federal money first before the state money, but we could also be a match for some of the other programs that are out there.
Well, that's encouraging, and you know, I'm glad that there's been a little flexibility in the how the funds are used and blended and all, because I know that can be a huge barrier on your side for helping somebody who's desperately, you know, trying to avoid homelessness. So that's that's good. I'm also, you can clarify what how so well now more than ever. You know, that money, spend that in a trouble at all.
Diane, I'm having you kind of zoom out on me. I'm going to see if I can get you on Facebook here because I couldn't hear the
signal.
Yeah.
Yes, signal. No.
Just your signal. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can get you on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Max says the video's frozen. Well, it's me. Let me tell you a little bit more about our program. In order to qualify, all you need to do is call in to us, and we'll talk to you online. We're working from our homes most of the week, and the rest of the time we are working out of an office. We will assess what your situation is, and we'll help you with different options. A lot of people have been calling in asking where they can go to even find a place. And we're not realtors, but we did sit down and put together a list of some local mom and pops throughout Cumberland County that offer rental properties. And we've also put together some rental properties, whether it's apartment buildings or realtors in the area that might be able to help people find a new home.
Okay, am I back with you?
You're back.
Okay. Thanks, Max, or whoever did that. So I guess what I was saying in my brilliant statement before was, you know, the whole idea that sounds like you have a lot of money, but with rents being as high as they are and people being as far behind as they are, it seems like that money is going to go in a heartbeat. So is that pretty much?
That's true. We had a landlord engagement conversation with a lot of landlords in the Shippensburg area and in Carlisle area. And we were asking them if they had a lot of unpaid rent. At that time, they said no. But these are actually landlords that are very engaged with their tenants. I think those that aren't might be that tsunami that we're talking about. One of the things that we try to tell our tenants is that your landlord is a business person and they need to pay their mortgage. And that's why they're counting on their rent. So when they get a little bit of pressure to get that rent, that's because they're having problems at their end. So we try to work with them through legal aid. We try to work with them through all the other services that are out there.
So what are rents? What's fair market rents in the area?
Well, people kept asking, what can I afford? What can I afford? And I did a sheet for fair market rents. For an efficiency in Cumberland County, it's about $595. A one bedroom, $704. 3-bedroom, $886. I'm sorry, that's a 2-bedroom, $886. A 3-bedroom would be $1,132, and a 4-bedroom about $1,200. Now, can you find something at $500? Yes. I always tell my folks to go in and check to make sure the windows aren't cracked, that there isn't mold, that the floor around the toilet isn't soggy. To be very careful that they're not going into a place where they're going to have to pay 5 or 6 different utilities. So we try to teach them what to look for going into a property, so that they just don't say, yeah, I'll take it, and then get in and they have major problems.
Yeah, and you said the one word that doesn't come up in initial conversations or initial thoughts about this is utilities.
Mhm.
A lot of times the tenant is responsible for utilities, and I'm guessing just from previous knowledge, a lot of people are in arrears with utilities. And
Mhm.
how does that arrearage impact their ability to, if you say, yes, I can give you, a month's rental assistance or whatever, but they can't find a place without utilities. So what is that reality like?
Well, if they have any type of arrearage, it's going to follow them wherever they go. So luckily, we've been connected with some of the utility companies, and we know that there are special programs, budgeting programs that they can get into where they pay a smaller rate every month. That helps pay down not only the debt, but the utility company can forgive some of that debt. So again, it's a full service that we try to do. We take a look at all the components of their budget, where the problems might be, even with credit, trying to get their credit up and making sure that they can start saving and do the kinds of things that they would like to do. I remember one time I asked if they had savings, to one client, what would they like to do? And they said, we've never been to the beach. We've never taken our children on a vacation. How can we do that? So we sat down and worked with them on that. So it's making their goals. I want to get back to the affordable rent, because one of the things that people need to know is that right now, the minimum wage is $7.25. $7.25. If somebody is making that and that's their only job, they only have $406 a month net to use for rent. So with those numbers that I gave you, there's nothing on that. They cannot find a place just with minimum wage. So that's why people are working 2, 3, 4 jobs, and it's tough. It's tough out there. Okay, now I'm by myself again. Oh, let's see. What else could we talk about? Well, we were talking about coming in. Let me talk about a little bit about case management. The case management part that we have to offer is to just work on the goals and what the client wants to work on. Now, I thought when we started offering case management that a lot of people would say, no, I just want the money and go. But I've been very surprised at how many people have said, I really need that. I need that service. And it's available for 2 years or more if they want it. If they're good after 3 or 4 months, that's their choice. We can back off on that.
Well, that's great. You know, it's like having a health advisor when you have health
Yeah.
issues. If you have somebody to help talk you through, maybe help you with your diet or your exercise. We all need improvement and help to improve. So it's
Yeah.
that's a wonderful service. And I know this isn't this isn't one of your services that you provide, I would imagine. But families that need to work those 2 or 3 jobs, if you have a 2-parent household and both parents are working double shifts or whatever, just to stay avoid homelessness, you've got things like childcare
Mhm.
that there's things that families need beyond what beyond the wages and affordable housing, and those are the kind of things that, again, most people, unless you're in the crisis, you don't think of it. And it's I think we as a country need to be looking at some of our priorities and kind of figure out, we've got millions of people trying to survive. What is it they really need help with, and how can we do that? And
Mhm.
because you're in the trenches. I mean, you and those that like running the shelters and other outreach programs, you can only do this for so long with your hands sort of tied behind your back on these other things. And
Mhm.
I certainly commend you and your coworkers that are doing what you're doing. But it's a bigger picture, I guess, is my point.
It is a bigger picture, and I appreciate your positive comment. We don't hear positive very often, many of many of my colleagues will tell you. But I do have to point out a couple things. One is um, our budget from the state has not increased in 8 years,
Oh,
while all the costs have and rents have increased tremendously over those 8 years. That's a problem. So we have really scrimped and scraped to provide these services. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that we also run out of my office Cumberland Cares for Families, which is an in-home visitation program for prenatal through age 5 of child. It's free to anybody in Cumberland County. And I'm mentioning this because we do a lot of developmental work with families and their children. We teach them simple things. I mean, they have not probably learned things from their own parents, like feeding or playing or getting on the floor or reading a book. So we offer this service, and we have found that through our developmental testing of these children, that those children who are homeless and in shelters are developmentally behind. And we want to connect them to services immediately to help them physically and mentally so they're school ready.
well, that's a wonderful thing that you're doing, and it's essential. And, it's like it's like everything else. It's like we don't see today that this little kid is going to have a problem tomorrow. But
Mhm.
the fact is that by getting the developmental services, and so parents can learn how to help their child develop in a healthy way, you know, that saves, you know, it saves special ed costs, it saves healthcare costs, it saves everything down the road. So it just that is wonderful to hear that, you know, that you're doing that out of your office too. So that's it sounds like you just do a lot of great things, and probably in not thanked enough for what you're doing. And I just, you know, I'm just delighted to hear what you do and how you do it. And I know that you do it in a kind and compassionate way. So I'm hoping that this interview can maybe get people out and about, and you know, get the word out on your services, and then we'll go from there. Yes, I know. I'm wrapping up. I got it. I got 1 minute. The boss. The other studio is just going to have to wait 30 seconds. All right. Well, we're getting the hook. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just wonderful to talk with you. So thanks so much for your time and what you're
Thank
doing.
you.
Okay. All right. Signing out here.
Bye, everybody.